Guys, this is Richard back at you. It's Friday, about 10 till 10. It's going to be a good day. Maybe we can get a bunch of work done and get out here early. Don't see that happening, do you, Teresa? No. I don't either. But hey, guys, we got Paul's '01 Dodge in the house, 2500, four-wheel drive. It's got 86,000 miles on it, having some issues. We know it's got converter pulsing, overdrive pulsing, about 45. We believe we know how to correct all that. Other than that, he wants to beef it up because he's going to be pulling a heavier trailer. He's going to chip it up and stuff like that. So we want to upgrade this thing where he won't break no shafts and stuff like that. So, but I want to kind of go through some things that we actually put in these units to make them hold up to more power and stuff like that. So, you know, we don't do any build videos to show you basically how we assemble them and stuff because we're just so swamped here, guys. If I had time to do it, I'd show you every one. I just ain't got the time. But we got somebody out there saying, well, you don't ever show the parts. Well, we show the parts in all of our videos that we're going to be putting in our trannies too. So, but anyway, we have an '01 Dodge, four-wheel drive tranny here, stock converter, stock tranny, never been into. But I'm going to go through some pieces that we're going to be putting in this thing. Now, right off the bat, you can see here, we have our billet flywheel we're going to be putting in. We have our multi-clutch triple disc converter from B&I going in here. Really nice company there, guys. Now we're going to get over here just to some of the tranny pieces you see here that we're going to be putting in here. Now we're going to be putting a billet shaft in here. Really nice piece here. We're going to be putting a new reverse band. My intermediate band isn't here yet. I'd be showing you it. We got parts still coming in this morning. Now also we have our, I'm going to open some of this stuff so you guys can kind of see physically what this stuff looks like. Now this is a case saver. If you got an overdrive housing, the snap rings wore out, stuff like that, you can put a case saver in there in the back of the case. Comes with paperwork and stuff, shows you how to do it. Pretty simple installation. Sometimes we might have to grind these tabs off a little bit to get it to set flush. We put them in there whether they're wore out or not. It tightens the whole unit up, lifts the output shaft, pushes it back forward really nice, tightens everything up really nice. So this is really a must on every one you do. So that's a nice piece there. Now we got our Transgo shift kit that we're going to be putting in here. We have our filter. We got our new case, rear case support. Now if we have a governor, a real early style 518, we will not be plugging these holes. Now if we have a later version, 4748 RE, has no governor, we'll be putting these little plugs in these holes right here. Pretty simple. O-ring goes in this groove here, seals everything, kind of holds a lot of fluid back here on the support, keeps it from leaking out. Now here we got the bearing and backing plate kit that we always install. It's in the overdrive section. This usually wears out really bad in here on one side, starts cocking in the drum. So that's a must to replace on every one. Even on, we see it wear on low mileage. So we have our pump gears. Really nice set of pump gears here. Now we have our case connector repair kit. Now 90% of these come in, the wires are all rotted around here, shorting out, stuff like that. We'll come in here, cut them out, solder them back together, heat shrink them back where they're really nice and tight. Now also we have our solenoid pack here. Now they make two different ones for the year. You can put the wrong one in here, the temperature sensor is different and it'll throw it off. Now they do make two different years too. Let me show you this a little bit. And where it's at is in the governor sensor connector is different. See, this connector here looks identical. But the only difference is here, and your temperature sensors are different. So sometimes they make a jumper cable. You can jump this one here to the new style or vice versa, but you can come up with a temp sensor code. So you got to be really careful when you start doing that. Now here we have our governor pressure solenoid here. Now they're all the same unless you put an aftermarket version. I try to stay with the OEM. To me, they work really well. I don't try to use aftermarket in that area at all. Now here we have our governor pressure sensor. Now this is the later version. They make an early version that's round, has a different plug. You can see it has a round plug instead of a square plug on the earlier design. Pretty simple. You don't want to ever wash that with solvent or anything. You'll ruin that right off the bat. You try to clean it, always just replace it. Now also we're going to get over here. We're going to go and put some SONNAX parts in here. We're going to put our SONNAX manual valve in here. Also, we're going to come in and put our SONNAX pressure regulator valve. Now this is a full-time lube valve that we're using. You can see here it's got a check bond spring in it. You can see the hole here and the hole here where it bypasses over the land that's in the middle. When you put these two in here, guys, you did a really big upgrade to your 48RE and 47 518 tranny. So retrofit all the way back. Now also, we put the new park reverse neutral piece that controls your neutral safety switch in the valve body. We also put the bullet in the valve body for your detent ball that wears out in the bore. We also put a full bushing kit. Every bushing gets replaced. Now we got 5-tab washers here, or excuse me, 6-tab. They do have wider ones we got coming in this morning too, or they could have, depending on what planet's in this thing, depending on what washers you're going to have. Now here we have our forward sun gear. If you notice here, the groove is narrow and the groove is wide. So the difference is in, if you got steel planets, you're going to have the wide, and if you have the earlier design, you're going to have the narrow sun gear shell. And they will retrofit if you know how to set clearances and stuff like that. So, then we have our Overdrive sun gear. Now they do make two of the different styles of these, where one of them's laid over a little bit farther. I don't have one in stock to show you right this second, but this should be the one that goes in this unit. Guys, you can't say enough from Transtar neither. These guys have everything that we've needed for 40 years. I mean, these guys have taken care of us like you would not believe. Call Raymond over at Transtar if you need any parts or anything for any type of unit. They have it there, guys. I'm telling you, they're worldwide. I mean, really good people. Now, to top the tranny off, guys, the number one thing that we really want to do is we want to put this beautiful ATS deep pan in there. This makes the whole tranny, guys. Adding this fluid, I love the way they designed it in the bottom to catch all the trash, gets the filter up, the trash settles in here, never moves around again, filter stays clean 10 times longer. You can go longer on your services and everything like that just because of this ATS deep pan. So guys, that is a must. I mean, we just got to order 10 in the other day, so we're waiting on our 68 RFEs to come in, because I'm going to put one on my Dodge too. I mean, it's going to happen. But anyway, let's get to the tranny. We got an 02 Dodge sitting here. It's got a factory converter in it. Never been touched. I don't see any hot spots where the converter clutch has been running. Probably got a little bit of wear on the flywheel. You're starting to see the rust starting to appear. And we see that, we know the flywheel is starting to really embed itself into the converter. So that's probably going to drip some fluid there. Let me see if I can't stop that a little bit. It's not so noisy. I like to come in here and kind of tap on this right here, since it's never been apart. These bolts will strip the Torx out, or you can come in here and kind of shock it just a little bit on the side. Take an air blower and blow the gunk out of the holes right there. Try not to get there we go. That way we can get that Torx way down in the bottom. Got your little gasket here. This goes on one way. You can see the bolts are angle headed, so pretty simple. Now down in here is our snap ring that we've always talked about, the groove wearing in the back, where we take and put our new case support. Now you can see down in here where that snap ring goes in there, there's not a lot of wear on this one. Really unbelievable. Normally that snap ring's back about 30 thousandths out of that groove backwards. It pushes that hard on the back of that case. So, but we can still put this in there That way we guarantee it tightens everything, shoves everything forward, straightens up our in clearances a lot just by adding that one little piece in there. And that way you not have to mess with a lot of stuff. So hopefully this got some nice planets in it, not a bunch of aluminum stuff. We'll get our speed sensor out of here real quick. These are normally covered in some type of trash on the tips usually. And we don't really see any issues with that causing any problems, any codes or anything like that. Now you can see how fluid was all over this bolt right here when I took it out. You can see it just poured out of this hole. That's why we always seal these bolts back in this overdrive housing. You can see they have sealant on here a little bit, but they will leak. We always put some red sealant on here and we tighten it in there. That way it seals the threads and the head of the bolt on the overdrive housing. Now this housing isn't cracked or anything, so but you definitely don't want no leaks. Come on. Okay, we're going to get this round wire retainer out of here. Now this retainer here basically just holds the clutches in so you can assemble the two pieces together. If you left it out and got it together, with luck, it would work if you left it out. And we have a 5-clutch overdrive. Now we could take this plate out here and put a plate that's been machined for an extra clutch and leave a snap ring out down in here. But sometimes, being this is a cable operated, we could get away with it. But we've seen that the ones that have tow haul, we've had issues with them having harsh downshifts in the tow haul mode if you leave this wavy snap ring out. So basically you put the solid one in first, put the wavy one in second. Now if you got that kit, you'd leave the wavy one out, put your plate in here that's been machined, and then you'd add another clutch and steel to the end of it. So, but we're not going to be doing that. This 5-clutch pack right here will hold up really nice for him. So he's not going to be pulling something that's just really, really crazy. Now you can reach down in here and get this snap ring out that holds that overdrive section in there. Come on. And you want to look at it because this snap ring physically wears too from side to side. So this one here is probably one of the better ones that I've seen. So we'll put the support in there and we'll slide this over here for just a second. Now we have our bearing right here, and then we have our selective spacer. This spacer right here is really critical. If I took and added that extra clutch to that drum, I would probably have to mess with this spacer because this spacer applies the overdrive direct clutch, or pushes it off at the same time it applies the overdrive clutch. So this piston does two things. Applies one clutch as it pushes one clutch off. So this clearance between them two is really, really critical. So. Now anytime we adjust our TV on these cable operated style, what we'll do is Trent will go inside the vehicle and put the vehicle on the floor, and we want to make sure that this lever is all the way back when he's got it on the floor, you can take and just drop the cable right on it. Boom, and it's on. He lets out the gas, the cable goes forward. If you take and pull it back and he pushes it back and the cable's plumb up here and you have to move it forward and pop it on, then it's out of adjustment. We always like to put the gas pedal on the floor, move the TV lever to the back, and make sure it just pops on straight up and down, and go drive it, see how it works. Works good, you're good to go. In some cases, I have seen a little bit of a harsh downshift, and if it does have a little bit of a harsh downshift, just come in here and move the cable just 1/8 of an inch forward and see if it takes it away. Okay, now here's our connector for our tranny. All of our solenoids, overdrive lockup solenoid goes through. Your governor pressure sensor, solenoid temp sensor, and all that stuff goes through. Now this connector was full of fluid. I already kind of blew it out with an air blower. Didn't mean to. I was just messing around to see if it did have fluid in it, and it did. So yeah, we'll put a new wiring harness in there anyway and correct that. So. I didn't grab all my tools. We'll get our intermediate band. Oops, look at that, grabbed the wrong socket. Must not have been looking for my 10. Guess I didn't need that.
It went under there.
That's okay. I got 2. Thank you, Teresa, for keeping me equipped with all these nice tools. I work smarter, not harder, right? We have our band strut here, adjustment. Okay. Now in this tranny here, it's just like a 47 RE style. It doesn't have a ring on your stator, anything like that. It's just 48s, they try to add in the ring on the stator to keep the converter full. We didn't have drain backs and stuff like that overnight. So, beautiful pan. Look at that, guys. Now which I believe he said he services like every second oil change or something. I mean, this guy takes care of this tranny. So.
Don't miss out on part 2. This was a long one, folks. More in detailed, more information that you've never heard. See y'all soon. Don't miss out.